Hey everybody, this is Baco from the Cobras and Fire podcast. And if you like this show, I highly encourage you to check out my show, Cobras and Fire. I guarantee we're either going to make you laugh or hate us. Now let's turn it over to two guys still waiting on their LA Kiss season ticket refunds. Your host of the Shout It Out Loudcast, Tom and Zeus.
Welcome to another episode of Dorm Damage, the show where anything and everything is on the table and the table gets smashed. This is episode 6. We're calling this one the Keg Races. That's right, Zeus. We have fond memories of the Keg Races, right?
Oh boy. Yeah, this is something that I'm curious that might spark a fun conversation where everybody tells us,
Agreed.
Oh, we did this.
Yep.
We had a competition like this where I was at school. So the Keg Races were something that we felt was unique to Stonehill College.
And it was also unique. And it was also unique to the early 90s, back when you could get away with this shit.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a tradition that had gone on. It had gone on years before us.
Yep.
I think it ended with us.
I think a lot of things ended with us.
I don't think it continued afterwards.
Nope.
Yeah, and then this is just something fun. You know, at this point now, if you guys are listening, we're on the cruise. We might be doing keg races there if you're listening to this.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. How can we get Kiss Cruise Keg Races?
I'll be the anchor man. So that's another important thing. So the Keg Races. Here we are, freshman year. We've talked about it when we did our fantastic Mr. Feces episode at Stonehill.
And we broke down all the wing names of O'Hara Hall. Skid Row, T-Zone, Banff, Somph.
Badass motherfuckers.
Somph, sit on my face. Now remember, those all stood for like actual things.
Yeah, that hall was there since the 50s. I think.
Banff was like Brotherhood of something ministry.
That's
whatever.
Badass motherfuckers.
Exactly. That's what it became. Hey, where do you live? Where do you live? I live in T-Zone.
Main wing, was it?
Yeah, main wing. Yep.
Yeah. Pit South and Pitts North.
That's right.
When we were freshmen, there were some sophomores still living in O'Hara on the bottom floor. Where I lived, I was in Pitt South, the end. Tom was around the corner at Pitts North with his group.
Yep.
So I was literally across from me were 2 sophomores. And the last 2 other rooms were 2 sophomores.
In the emergency exit.
Yeah, the rye guy story will come up with that. And the Chinese food. Oh, man. That's a horrible story. Poor guy. Anyway, so
we'll get to
line.
Okay.
It was out of line to our friend.
All right.
So we heard about this stuff. Oh, wait till spring weekend, guys. It's the Keg Races are coming up. And like, what the fuck are the Keg Races? Well, because we went to Stonehill, and that's an Irish Catholic school, you're not supposed to have booze on you, especially if you're underage and you're not having the dorm. We had kids getting thrown out because they had empties they were saving to get more money to buy more booze, and their closet got found. They had empties and they got thrown off.
Walshy had empties in his ceiling tiles, and he got thrown off campus or something.
Oh, ceiling tiles.
They were dropping
a lot of
hammer
shit
back then. Oh, yeah.
You hit a lot of shit in the ceiling tiles.
Yeah.
So we were told about these keg races because I had sophomores across, and what it is Stonehill. So people wouldn't drink. There was a wooded area because Stonehill is in Eastern Mass, kind of rural kind of out. Although it's close to Brockton.
Well, the grounds that Stonehill was on had a lot of land and a lot of it unused. Where the keg races took place, that land is now used for dorms and parking and stuff like that. They used to be called the Caves.
Yes, which was like a wooded area, big, huge rocks and formations, and you could hike up there and do all sorts of shit. But people would go up there to drink. Like you would in high school, like, oh, let's go in the wooded areas with your local monotony and drink up there, yep. Tom. Remember that, Arlington?
Or like in Arlington, we're going to go to Florence Field and drink. Why?
I'll meet you over at Buzzle.
Yeah.
So we had this wooded area. And in this woody area, once a year, I think it was spring weekend, they would have the keg races. And what was the keg races? It would be teams made up of wings. I believe it was 6. I think something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember the number.
And each team would have to bring a quarter keg, which is about 82 beers, 3.5 cases of beer.
I can't remember that, but go ahead. Yeah.
The goal was whichever team emptied the keg first won. So how does it work? You have 6 people. You're drinking until the first one finishes. However, if your teammate throws up, which I don't know, 75% of the people did,
yep,
they're eliminated.
Yep.
So you could have one guy banging out and finishing the keg.
Mm-hmm.
It was fucking insanity. People getting shit-faced within an hour, blasted out of their minds, and throw up everywhere.
And one of the beauties of this thing, too, so with the back end of the caves was kind of like the back of a little mini shopping plaza that was like ran down the street from Stone. That was kind of how you would have to get your keg up into the caves. Because the caves, it was on, you couldn't just, first of all, you couldn't have a keg on campus at all. I don't even think, I think even if you were of age, you couldn't have a keg on campus. So getting the keg up there, first of all, who was going to buy the keg? Who was going to get it up there? All of that. Now, the magic of all this was that it took place way before social media and the internet, which is probably how it was allowed to be successful. Because right now, if you put this on Instagram, the thing would be fucked up in 5 minutes because some dork would rat everybody out. So that's how these things took place. And then the other thing, I know that when I did the keg races, or at least when I remember watching the keg races, you just passed the tap around and put it in your fucking mouth. There was, you could drink out of a cup, but a lot of people just pass the thing. Then they'd take a breath, pass it to their teammate, take a breath, pass it to their teammate.
Yeah, there were supposed refs to walk around, making sure people weren't emptying it out the beer, and stuff. And so literally they would have to lift the keg and make sure it was empty.
Yep.
So I was with the only sophomores in our wing. Ended up joining. It was like 6 of us. I think me and one other kid were freshmen on that team.
But what was the nickname of that group of guys?
The Mutants.
Oh my God, the fucking Mutants. This was before
Mutants. The wedding singer. They were all called the Mutants. Oh, we had a listener called Dan Hool. Remember that?
Yeah, remember I said, was that the guy from the Mutants?
He looked like fucking the creature growing out of Arnold's stomach in fucking Total Recall. He looked like that. He was a unhandsome man.
But like the Tri-Lambs in Revenge of the Nerds, these guys could drink.
Oh, all they did is drink. He could have been Booger. Dan Hool.
The whole team, they were all like Booger.
All they did was just drink, fart on each other,
and play soccer.
Play soccer. But these mutants were like all booze bags. So anyways, you go up there, the keg races start. This is our freshman year. I don't even know if it made it past the freshman year because there's going to be a story that happens and we'll get into it.
Yeah.
But in the end, I was on this team. The team won. I didn't make it. I threw up. I got eliminated.
Of course.
I don't know how fast. It's incredible. It's hard to describe. When you puke, you don't even feel it. It's just involuntary. Your muscles and spasm just comes right out.
Yeah, it's so fast. It's like burping. It's a physical response to just too much drinking. Just bleh.
And from the Lambda Mu team, Dudley Dawson.
Booger.
Booger.
Yeah, and then like this is done by 7 o'clock. You're in your room, passed out, drunk, waking up around 1 a.m, going, "Where's everybody?
Where are the cameras?"
Yeah, exactly. So this place is just full of. Just think of all these guys, freshmen, sophomore, away from home the first time, drinking piss. It was all like, you try to get the best keg you can because you don't want to be guzzling Schlitz and fucking, I don't know, Pabst Blue Ribbon. So you try to drink Bud Light or Busch, high-end beer. Yeah. And place just smelled of disgusted throw up piss.
And it was, and because of where it was located, it was all covered in like leaves and stuff. So everything stuck. It was like gross. Even if it was up in the spring, everything it was like the woods. It was the woods. So it was just if you puked or if you pissed, it was just like paste.
Fucking
just
gross.
Got
You're sliding on fucking wet leaves. What are they wet from? Beer, piss, puke. You have no idea. It's just filthy disgustingness. Well, one of these keg races, actually the first one, the one that the team I was fortunate enough to be on, because it's a proud moment, that won.
Put that on your resume.
Dan Hool, I think, was an anchor man. They would call the last person, he's the anchor man, for boozing down a keg. There was an incident that occurred. You want to fill us in?
Yeah. So there's I'm not going to lie. This is when some of the details get hazy because obviously we're trying to recap an incident where we were fucking drinking kegs like fucking water. So rest in peace. One of our best friends, I played football with him for 4 years, lived with him, Todd. We were up there with this other kid.
We could wait a minute. Let me just stop you. We could just do an episode just on his and his incidents.
My God.
Oh my God.
Now I know Murph. See, the good thing, Murph will be able to be like a fact checker on this episode because the kid that Todd was involved with in this incident, and I feel bad saying this if I'm wrong, I also think rest in peace him as well.
Yeah, he's dead. He died.
Okay.
I remember someone talking about that.
Okay. So
that
during
the two guys in the incident are both gone.
The two Utes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So during the incident, there was, of course, people drunk, bunch of guys screaming, fisticuffs, fighting. Todd and this kid, well, I'll call him Andy because that was his first name. I don't want to say his last name.
Yeah.
They got into a fight. And Andy just popped Todd perfectly. And I'll never forget two things I vividly remember about this. Trying to break up the fight while everyone's shit-faced. Landing on the ground. Okay? No, not even the gross spot. Landing on the ground and looking across at Keller, who was suspected Mr. Feces.
Mr. Feces.
Looking across at him and just bursting out laughing. For some reason, just laughing. And then looking over at Todd, and I was like, oh, wow, Todd, he fucking knocked one of your teeth out. And he goes, no, that space is not a missing tooth. That space is the separation because he fucking broke my jaw. He cracked his fucking jaw so hard that the gap was as wide as like a molar, like a tooth. So now, meanwhile, we're all shit-faced. Who the fuck is going to take care of Todd with his fucking... this is where the details get hazy. I don't know how he got medical care. All I know is that the next day he showed up with his mouth wired shut.
Yeah. The other thing about the story is Andy was a short, fat kid.
Yep.
Todd was jacked since day one. It's freshman when I met him.
He ripped. Yeah, Andy just got. It was almost like he got like the glass
strong
Joe.
As hell. Yeah. Chiseled.
Yep. It's like Andy got the glass Joe punch to the perfect sweet spot because it was one punch. He just boom, cracked his fucking jaw in half.
in the
middle of the keg races. And everyone's like, oh. Now, again, hazy details. Maybe Murph, the fact checker, can help us out here later on, but I don't recall the keg races ending because of that either.
No.
Because it wasn't over.
And another part was, remember Dell chasing our friend Rye Guy? He's in Rye Guy, like, he wants to beat me up. He wants to beat me up.
Well, that's
and all you football guys are like, I don't leave him alone. He's a friend of ours. Do you remember that?
Yeah, because you had like the football guys, the non-football guys, like all, and then you had the
fucking disaster.
And then you had all the teams. Like I said, it was broken up into teams. Now, if I recall correctly on this with the keg races, because you mentioned that big rock, that's where a lot of people would sit. Those were almost like the stands.
Dude, we had there were chicks there.
That's what I was just going to say. There were girls that would come and watch this.
So I remember our sophomore year, our team got our ass kicked. I think we were on it as well, but we got our ass kicked. We didn't even come close to winning it.
That's when Murph made a sign. Remember, you know how Notre Dame writes "play like a champion"? Everybody tapped. Murph made a sign for us, "drink like a champion" today. So everybody fucking tapped it on the way out. I remember that.
Yep. Pitt South, because we were the reigning champs and we lost. And I'll just remember getting fucking shattered.
Yep.
There were a couple girls. Remember I had friends that were from Arlington, and they had gone to our school, and she had friends with her in her class. A couple of girls fucking wiped out. Fucking, there's all rocks and shit.
Oh, yeah.
And her knees are all fucking banged.
Dude, everybody came out of it just disgusted.
All fucking bloodied. Oh, my God. And then you're hooking up with girls. Fucking disgusting
covered
beer.
in piss and puke and bush
You're
light.
thrown up, puke, you smell, and you're like trying to make out with a chick against a rock in the middle of the woods, right next to a pile of throw up.
And right next to fucking Todd's broken jaw. The magic of all this, though, think about how many times do we say this with the shit that we did? No cameras, no cell phone videos, no social media posting. No, because imagine trying to do a keg race today and not having every single person expelled.
Yeah, I pulled out recently an old Stonehill photo album. I had a camera most of the time at Stonehill. I always try to take random photos of us.
Yeah, we do. We took pictures. Yeah, we took pictures. There's
got to be pictures of the caves and drinking up there, and the disgustingness and the throw up. And the blood and the piss.
Now there were other events. I remember on rare occasions be like, "What's everybody doing tonight? Who's having a party?" And I remember somebody would just shout out "caves," and we would go to the caves for like non-keg race events. Now the keg races, remember, the keg races were during the day. They were during daytime hours. When we would go to the caves for other events at night, which was
we would start bonfires and everything.
Yeah, and that was like normal hangout drinking. Like you wouldn't.
And
it wasn't
all
a
of a
keg
sudden,
race.
Once in a while, you see the flashlights running from the cops.
The good old
like
days.
A bunch of fucking sophomores in high school.
Yep.
Running from the cops because we're in wooded areas.
Yep.
Up, and technically that wasn't campus. You had the Brockton police chasing us up there.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and that's the thing. If you go to Stonehill now, that whole area is overtaken mostly
the estate
because Stonehill just expanded. But to think about the logistics of what went into that, coordinating to buy a keg, getting the keg up a fucking mountain almost.
Mm-hmm. Who's buying the keg? We're all freshmen and sophomores.
Who's buying the keg? Who's disposing of the keg? Like these are the things.
Yeah, because people are like, I get $15 on that tap. I want that back.
Exactly. It's just, it's one of those memories when Zeus and I were talking about, we're like, because when we talked about dorm damage, of course, Mr. Feces was the first episode. We're like, we have to do the occasional Stonehill story. And one of the greatest memories of now this is back when this dorm was all male, freshman, sophomore males only. Mm-hmm. And you could get away with this shit. And it worked. And it was 30 years later, did you ever think we'd be sitting here on a podcast talking about the fucking keg races?
No. One other person, remember Campy brought a fucking funnel?
Yeah, can't be. He used to funnel vodka.
Yeah.
Literal
Talk
vodka.
about
he would
fucking
funnel.
stupidity. Alcohol poisoning. Fucking dumbasses.
That's the other thing that was blessed for us. Nobody fucking like died or got alcohol poisoning. People just puked.
Yeah. But if you thought, oh, well, you're hearing this. We're on the cruise. Hopefully, we're not overboard. No one's having any gastro problems.
Hopefully, there's no broken jaws either.
Yeah, but the Keg Races sure were a good memory for us, brother.
Absolutely, one of the best. And I'm interested to hear from other people out there. Do you guys have anything like this from your college days? Anything similar to this? Anything stupid that would make a story?
Yeah, like a game or something to drink in or something you do. Oh, I don't want to hear. Oh, I went to spring break when I was a freshman. Okay.
Yeah, no, this was homemade. This was like, let's get together and just get fucked up and do like Olympics. Stupid
and this
shit.
was done prior to this is done. This has been done for years.
Yeah,
because it was an Irish Catholic school and is very strict about stupid shit. And then they met us. So
Keg Races, baby.